Mr. President,
Defense Committee.
I'd like to thank the President for deeming it fit to eventually send this list to us after almost 3 years. We're indeed very, very grateful. All of us in Niger Delta, we're grateful that at least the NDDC board will finally, after screening, be able to hit the ground running. However, Mr. President, a little observation. Listening to the list that you read out, I didn't hear any name read out as a state rep, a state representative to represent Delta State in the board of the NDDC. Mr. President, by the provisions of Section 2(1)(a) and B, most specifically B, 2(1)(b) of the NDDC Act, every state of the Niger Delta is supposed to have one member, an indigene of the state representing the state in the board of the NDDC as a state representative. Now, the list you read out has all of the states represented, but Delta State does not have a state representative. So I'd like to appeal to Mr. President to graciously reach out to the executive arm to do the needful to correct this anomaly. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Your point of order, of course, is partial explanation, Order 42, and is not subject to any debate. And I've taken note, and using this opportunity to at least advise the executive arm of government that because we want to screen and consider the request of Mr. President for the nominees to be confirmed, the needful must be done. That every state of the Niger Delta is supposed to have one state representative. In the case of Delta, you have the chairperson, the chairman. You don't have state representative. So, and we'll go strictly by the law establishing the NDDC. And let me also advise the executive that it is in the interest of the Niger Delta and indeed the entire country that we get that nomination for state representative for Delta State. Otherwise, this would delay our processes here in the Senate for considering this request. Thank you, DSP. But I've also noticed that the Delta State, okay, they have. Point of order. Point of order, very distinguished Senator.
I come under Order 52(6), Order 71 and 2, Order 10 and 11. 52(6). First,
yes, you may read, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reference shall not be made to any matter on which, 6, it shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon which the Senate has come to a conclusion.
Senator Aidigyan, please go back to your seat, please.
I'm sorry, I will repeat. It shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider. Order 52.6. It shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon which the Senate has come to a conclusion during the current session, except upon a substantive motion for rescission. Order 71 and 2. Order 71. No senator may speak on any question after the same has been fully put by the President of the Senate or the Chairman. 2. A question is fully put when the President of the Senate or Chairman has collected the voices, both of the ayes and of the nays. Then I go to Order 10, sir. Order 10, privilege. Thank you, sir. Any senator may arise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that a contempt or breach of privilege has been committed, or referring the matter to the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. But if the matter is raised in committee of the whole Senate, the chairman shall leave the chair to report progress. 11. When a matter of privilege at any time arises.
Distinguished colleagues, please, those of you who are not at their seats, please.
Order 11. When a matter of privilege at any time arises, the President shall, until the matter is disposed of, or unless the debate on a motion thereon is adjourned, suspend the consideration and decision of every other question, provided that the President over other businesses shall not be given to any motion if, in the opinion of the President of the Senate, a prima facie case of breach of privilege has not been made out, or the matter has not been raised at the earliest opportunity. Mr. President, because I also come under privilege, I have to make a few statements. You will recall, in 2019, the President of the Federal Republic sent to us nominees for the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority. The Senate, in its wisdom, directed by you, referred the same request to the Committee on Niger Delta, and the people were properly screened. The report was brought to this chamber, and each of them was taken one after the other, and then we approved and confirmed all of them. Now, after that, we did not hear anything. The people were not sworn in. They were not sworn in till now. And there has been no letter from the President telling us why that was not done, why they were not sworn in to start with their work. But now we are receiving another letter again for another confirmation. That goes against our rules. That is a question that has been put here, and it has been answered either in the affirmative or in the negative. It has been answered. Now, if you are going to have another one again, I think that procedurally it is very wrong. Mr. President has the power to appoint any person at any time, but also as an institution, as the first arm of government, we have our rules and procedures, which we need to also, I think we should follow. So I think that, are we not creating some conflict? Some people have been.
I think you should allow me to do the interview. You have raised the point, isn't it? You have raised the point. I'm totally committed to doing the right thing. When we take votes, I go with majority. And I am a stickler for due process. So I agree with you completely. We're on the same page on this, that we stick to our rules. But I think there is something that you have forgotten. In 2019, and probably up to some parts of 2020, definitely, we had a running battle with the executive arm of government over the composition of the management of the NDDC. You recall that this Senate took a decision not to have anything to do with interim management, 3-man interim management at that time. In fact, we said even the budget of NDDC, we will not allow the interim management to come and defend it. We took the decision in the Senate. And we stuck, or I believe that we were convinced that that was something we must take to its logical conclusion. Somewhere along the line, the president sent a list of nominees, like you've just said. And we screened and we confirmed and sent it back to the executive arm of government. And our expectation was the confirmed nominees will be appointed. However, that appointment didn't happen. And the interim, 3-man interim committee continued to act as the management. But Mr. President sent another letter, and that's what we have forgotten, saying there was a flaw in the nomination of the nominees we confirmed. And therefore, he was going to send another one in due course. Meanwhile, he recognized the interim. And at that point, the Senate decided to lift the ban on interacting with the interim committee. And our committee on Niger Delta Development Commission started to work with interim management. I'm sure some of our senators will recall this. So there was a reason, there was a letter. I'm not sure, but the Secretariat could look for that letter. But there was definitely a letter saying there was a flaw. I don't know what the flaw was, probably the MD, chairman, and this kind of thing. Maybe states will rotate between themselves and maybe some kind of thing that they didn't like. So I believe that at this time, this nomination by the president should be looked into, because that initial one was nullified by that letter. If they hadn't sent a letter to us, I would have gone your way. But because there was a letter, I think that we should stick to our rules on how we do the screening or whatever, or what the Niger Delta Development Commission Act says about these nominations and so on and so forth. And whoever qualifies gets the nod, whoever does not gets the bat. I don't know. So we should look at it that way, rather than maybe going back as if there was no communication at all regarding what happened in the past. So that's my ruling. And because you have been very, very patriotic, because I know you, and of course, standing every inch for Senate rules to be obeyed, we have taken note of your point of order. I will not rule you out of order. We have taken note, yes.